Hi, everybody, Facebook fam, and all of our members in Be Your Own Guru community. And if you happen to be catching this replay on YouTube, thank you so much for being a part of our soul family and our combined communities. I'm so excited about today's guest and exploring this, I think, massively beneficial and could even be life-shifting conversation. And I'm notorious for packing as much as I can in an hour. If we do go over for time, Cassandra, are you okay?
I am available.
Okay, cool.
I am available, yeah.
I have some really powerful questions, and I want to make sure that our people, your people, that we share the answers to those, because I'll tell you why. Not only are you such an amazing and fantastic and magical and fabulous person that I want people to really experience that, but also I feel like you and I are in a position where we're literally getting to recode humanity and the internet for different conversations that we're going to be having today relative to our soul signature frequency, medicine, our uniqueness, our individuality. My mission is to create new earth cities and communities. And I feel like we do that by kind of linking arms and combining our talents and our abilities and kind of seeing each other as equals, that we each have our own unique flavor and strategy to do what we do. And when we mix these things together, it makes our world, our family, a better place. So I'm going to be celebrating the uniqueness and the glory and all that is you today. But we're going to be doing it in a very inspiring and hopefully transformational place. So thank you so much for being my second guest on Soul Gold, Soul Chats with Ty Gold. I'd love to turn this over to you, Cassandra, if you'll answer a couple questions for me. Thank you for receiving. Please tell everyone your full name and the title that you go by, and then if it's not too much, who you're helping, how you're helping, and how you're serving. So take it away, Miss Love.
Well, thank you, Ty. Yeah. It is such a pleasure to be here. I am feeling already just the frequency of the room and the groove, and it is just I'm just vibrating already. It is, yes, it feels so delicious. So I am Cassandra Glass. I go by the title of Soul Authority Alchemist. So I am an intuitive healer and identity alchemist, or spiritual guide, and or I guess tag that on to the end there. I help women, empaths, healers, medicine women in particular, and sacred feminine leaders transform who they are being to bring them into alignment with their highest timeline of authenticity, abundance, and become the embodiment of their mission to really lead and anchor and ground their vision into this 3D reality that we are transcending into the new earth frequency.
Love it, love it.
Yes.
So tell us what soul authority means to you. So describe what that is.
I'd love to. So soul authority. Soul authority is really, to me, the definition of listening to your inner wisdom, trusting your own intuitive nature, and you're becoming attuned to your energetic blueprint and who you are meant to be in this world. And there's a process to this. It is really about there's this rebellion energy that is really tied in to your soul authority. It is really for the rebel souls. However, we really transcend the energy behind rebel and allow it to work for us and for humanity, which again, is tied in with freedom. There's so much
Yes.
underlying here. It's really tied into freedom, being free of chains, society, rules that really dismiss what we know to be true within ourselves, for ourselves, and for the greater good. So it's really about being able to align with who your true identity, who you are here to be, by transcending the trauma and the shadows, so you are able to be safe in your own essence, in your own being, to lead the mission, on your heart.
Yeah.
And so soul authority is about listening to you in what is truly true to your core.
Love that. Thank you for explaining. You and I went through a beautiful like field or window of opportunity where we had the for me, it was a beautiful gift of working together. And we got clear on kind of like what the method is, the madness to your medicine. And we talked about my trifecta of utilizing teaching, healing, guidance. And that's my magic formula with everyone that I work with. So I would love for you, and I know you mentioned it in the titles, but if someone were to think about working with you, they were like, maybe I might, should I would love it if you could give them just a tightly wrapped, what would it look like, or what is included when somebody works with you? And the other question, if you don't mind me putting a couple in there, do you enjoy most working with people one-to-one or groups, or you do both? I think it's important for people to know that.
Okay, yes. All right.
Thanks.
That last question really just like made everything much bigger. So
yeah.
So
your
good
method.
Question, Ty. My method. Thank you. It's like, okay, what the
I
fuck
got
did
you.
you ask me? Censored.
I do this to people. I do this to people. I stack questions. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I love it. Okay, so we've discovered through our work together, which was such a gift for me too.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it was a very pivotal moment into continuing or not, like on my mission.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't until this moment. It was that big for me. And I just have to speak to this first, and then I feel like it will lead into the questions. How the moment in time that we had together was so transformative, and it was something that, to my core, I knew existed.
Yeah.
But I never knew how to tap into it, or how to manifest it, how to bring it into my reality,
what does that
if
look
it
like?
was really possible for me. And through many experiences, it was like right in reach, and then not, right in reach, and then not. And you really took me all the way. You really allowed that door to open, and for me to walk through it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's exactly what they're showing me right now. It's like you opened up the door and I walked through it.
Yeah.
You met me on that other side. So thank you for that, because it led me to seeing the fullness of my methods and my magic. And we really did uncover that. So I came from health and fitness. Like I was a gym owner. And so I did that for 11 years. And it was very much about the physical body. So I had that down, right? That
Mastery.
Down. However, the transformation of it was never what you would achieve through a standard personal trainer. I always had this different aspect to it. There was something always deeper that I wanted to tap into.
The rebel.
And the rebel, right? Weight loss, like we can transform so much, and you'll love yourself by the end of it. And you'll be glowing, and you'll be able to move, and all of this gloriousness. So we were able to tap into my method of being, teaching really being a teacher and
Mm.
allowing that, the mental body to come into the transformation,
Mhm.
the healing for the spiritual body, for the cellular body, for the
Mm.
energetic body.
And you are
And
an
then God.
activator, just PS, activator.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also like the guidance, being able to
Yeah.
really carry somebody through the journey, being able to guide them
Mhm.
and be there with them as
Mhm.
well. And ooh, my flame is speaking to me. They're like, yes, guidance. And then body, being able
Yeah.
to really bring it all into the body
Body
and being
work.
able to merge the what do we call it? The superfecta? What's the
Yeah, you have a
superfecta?
superfecta because
The
you literally
superfecta.
put the body in embodiment.
Mm-hmm.
Like you tear it up. When you do that fourth element, you make it like anchor and all the way
Mm-hmm.
through. It's all the way through. It's not up here. You don't quit on people when they're going through that distortion phase with the emotional and inner child
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You go all the way through, ground, and give it permanence. That
Yes.
helps people be a stabilizing force for themselves, but then also their communities. And I think that's why it's so important that you do work with medicine women who are leading tribes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oof, gives me
Absolutely.
goosebumps.
Right? Woo! That went right through me. Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it is so important that I align this work with very specific
Method.
clients, right? Bringing
Yes.
these methods will not
Mhm.
apply to anyone across the board,
Yeah, you're right.
which I was really trying to do. I was really
I
trying to
know.
be accessible to all. And I just had a closing ceremony this morning with one of my one-on-one clients.
Mm.
Oh, it was so beautiful. Oh my
Isn't
God.
it
Okay.
great to see someone in their independence and their sovereignty
Oh,
and kiss them at graduation goodbye?
holy F.
Yeah.
Like I am getting a rumble in my womb right now. Like
Yeah.
it was so glorious. And that was something that you really taught me, that I can really deliver
Yeah.
this
So
kind of
sacred.
care package. And that's really
Mhm.
your language there, those care packages. And it the level of fulfillment on all of these aspects in all of these body forms
Yeah.
we were able to touch and
Yeah.
really create this wholesome deliciousness. So why did that just come up? Very specific people.
Yeah.
Um, so being accessible, right? When I was really trying to be accessible to everybody, I was really not able to support anyone
Mhm.
because it was either I'm trying to get people out to believe in the magic, to want to
Yeah.
change, very convincing energy. And because I want to be observers, I want to help everyone, right? But it's really about the ones who know to their core that they are here for
Mm.
something bigger and are either already working as a healer, medicine woman, as a shaman, as a channel, as an oracle. Really, I
Yeah.
feel like is the biggest piece here, because I deal so deeply with the body as the vessel and
Mhm.
how to stabilize your body,
Yeah.
your energy to deliver these high frequency messages,
Yeah.
right? To deliver just
Anchor
these
and ground.
frequencies in general.
Yeah.
It's really taxing on the body. And I deal with women who come from very traumatic backgrounds. So they're kind of dysregulated when they come into
Mhm.
my containers, and they're doing this big work.
Yeah.
They're holding this space, but then they're kind of left behind and exhausted,
Yeah.
depleted. Really, so it's about the nourishment of the body. That's where my past trainings can really come in and support them
Yeah.
to now it gives you a higher purpose for maintaining your health
And the movement. Yeah.
and the movement of it.
Yeah.
So we can really drop back into ourselves and our energy, because we're so tapped into all of these other energies.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's really important to come back into your own and know and be able to discern all of this. So it is really like the highly sensitive women. And their sensitivities grow when working with me too, right? Like, so it is about recognizing, discerning your own energy, like coming back into your soul's essence and knowing what that even feels like in your own body to begin with.
Yeah, love it.
For safety purposes. So I love working with women one-on-one. However, group settings,
I know,
really these group settings for me light me the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like it's like, put me on stage, put me in front of a group of people, put me in the energy where we can really move some energy, when we can move some shit, where we can really lift together. The more bodies doing the work, the more we can move, the more we can anchor. And it is just such a, I love the large impact. I love the vibe of the groups. And then my one-on-ones are very reserved for very specific. I have just, you know, minimal spots for long term. So it is the very, very long-term packages that I am with you for a journey. I am with you because you are here to walk through big fires, big initiations. Yeah.
Well, I know that time with you would be well spent, because I know you touch, like what we've talked about, on all these different places. So one of the things the divine wants me to have this conversation first, and I'm wanting to fast forward to another conversation that I'm hyped about. So let me settle and calm. One of the conversations that we had while we worked together was a conversation about soul signature codes. And I love this conversation for a gajillion reasons, and I could probably speak on it for a whole afternoon, but we can't. We're going to condense this down and make it about you, promise. But my philosophy is if we get clear on our soul's unique codes, it becomes like our brand, it becomes our medicine, it's our magic formula as well. And so I would love for you to share with your soul family and the people who are watching this, you know, some of your soul codes. These would be areas that you are gaining mastery in this lifetime. You may have been born with strengths in this area, or you may have been come by this kind of like the hard way. But these are some of the soul codes are to be celebrated when you own them. You do the alchemization on them, and then you copy paste them. So I would love for your soul family to know the richness that they get regarding like soul codes that are unique to you. This is your area of mastery and what you're offering to your beautiful soul family.
Soul codes is such a delicious topic. It really is. Like, it's so good. And you really helped me open up my eyes to my specifics, and attune me to them as well, right? And it tends to be like I'm going to say, like, I was very unconscious to my own frequencies. And so it was this area of, I was consistently helping women transform in these areas. And I was unable to really see that they are of me. They are of my mastery through my journeys, right? And so it's really interesting, because when I feel into this, I see this like column, and there's authenticity, abundance, grounding, stability, integration, freedom, freedom, like freedom, 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 freedom. Freedom really touches it all. And yeah, I'm feeling like freedom, authenticity, abundance, embodiment, integration, stability, grounding, really things that it's really interesting because coming out of the physical career that I had and moving into more of the energetic and spiritual career, these were very foundational pillars.
Yeah.
Stability, grounding, flexibility. And it was really interesting. So I would always take people through these routines. My intentions were to always create, like, if you put a kettlebell over your head and I see your wrist, elbow, shoulder stacked, and I'm teaching you that balance and that alignment there, like I would just light right up, and like I could feel the energy flowing through their bodies, through their systems. I could see their blocks. Like I always joked like I had like X-ray vision. My clients like, how did you know that? I was like, at the time I was like, I don't fucking know. I just do. So like this is what you have to do, right? So it was always that stability, that grounding, being able to really, my focus was on the minor details of the feet, of the toes, of the ankles, of the joints, being able to extend you through flexibility and be able to sit in uncomfortable situations and sensations to ride that out, to experience the depth and the ranges that we have available to us. And so being able to really understand that our physical body is capable of that through dropping inward, and now being able to really bring all of those intentions forward. I'm recognizing like, oh yeah, that is a soul code of mine, right? And this is how we can really apply it across the board, full of wholesome transformation.
Nice. Good. Yeah. So when we do this work, and just to fill anybody else in who's like not familiar with this conversation, a lot of times we'll have a soul code like embodiment, and that ends up being like an umbrella term. And then you see all these other things stacked underneath it that kind of fit under that title. And I just want to share one, the divine and the galactic beings who helped me, they gave me basically like this software program that rewrites our data, our subconscious data, so that we're more compatible to new earth ways of doing things. One of the things they helped me and Spirit Messenger Mastery students with was unplug us from 3D programming around the body. You were the first person that I ever met who was already doing new earth code, body acceptance, body love. And I don't know if you, I mean, I know I remarked to you on your sense of like self-love, so even acceptance of others, your body love. It's totally different programming, and it's not prevalent on this earth. Definitely not seen in the fitness community. A lot of the fitness community is that 3D plugin around perfection, and perfection being size, you know, BMI, weight, those kind of things. And you come from, your automatic patterning comes from a completely different place. So I feel like that's a new earth code. This body love, body acceptance. You really focus on the toning, the flexibility for the body to be capable and be able to endure and to be able to transform and grow. That's what I felt like I understood doing some of your, like, I don't know that we want to call them fitness, because that doesn't even feel appropriate, but some of your flexibility workouts that you have on YouTube, really like stretching, strengthening, and opening the body. It hit me like, whoa, this is new. And it matched a bunch of the like formula and techniques that the divine taught me years ago when they gave me this software program. And I don't know that you and I have ever really touched on it from that perspective, but you are a carrier of these mastery key codes around the body and a new earth formula for it. So when you mention fitness, I want to make, even though you've kind of left that concept behind in a way, in the way that you mastered it and were taught, because you're still using body formula in your work, but it's not what I would see at the gym if I signed up for a class. It's very different. So what you're offering is really like a new earth body techniques that help us master the unit we are working with and that we're born with. So I really want to compliment you on that, and then point that out. That means your rebel formula, that you didn't let whatever's going on out there taint your idyllic picture of mastery around that. So thank you. I really think you're meant to be one of these new earth teachers of these kind of codes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely to hear that you dropped into the flexibility classes that I have on YouTube, like it's so exciting, and it's so amazing when you do have somebody who is really attuned to their energy and to the divine, and you're able to really surrender yourself and release the stagnancy, the densities that are stored in your body. And that was really my intention and my concept of this. So instead of being the teacher leading you through, I have the free YouTube channel. You can do all of my workouts on there. There soon will be over 100 of them posted.
Wow.
And that will just be up and available. And I love utilizing that channel for my clients, because there's always very specific things we're working on and very specific areas of the body where emotions get trapped.
Yeah.
And I am here to really be able to attune to that emotional, energetic aspect and hold space for you to move through that.
Yes.
And, this is where I can send a very specific workout, a very specific exercise that's already pre-recorded, that's already there for you to drop in at a divine time, in a divine space, in a sacred space, for you to be with that, where it's no longer about just building your muscles or your weight loss or whatever. There's a deeper transformation happening, and then your body, the physical aspect, is going to transform back to its natural state, into a state that you can perceive and see. And again, it is about also being able to do bigger work in this world. And we need a physical vessel that is stable and strong, and be able to lean back into our feminine, into our wisdom, and into our magic, and feel like we have a safe space to live in. So that's where exercise really falls in. And I can still hold that and support that and guide that without that being
I
the
love
one
it.
and only.
So one of the things I wasn't sure, even in all the times we've talked and worked together, how long have you been supporting other people? Was fitness your first area of providing support to other people? And if that was the starting point, how many years has it been now?
How old am I?
Ah!
What year is it?
2023. I love you.
So when I was 19.
Wow.
So 13 years. When I was 19, I left a management position at McDonald's.
I started out at McDonald's too.
Great skill set.
I know.
Really. Great skill set. I go back there often for that purpose. And then I went right into a commercial gym. And was recognized there for my ability, for my natural state of movement and guidance and teaching and all of this. So I started my own in my daughter was 6 months old. So in 2014, early 2014 is when I began guiding women through their transformation journey.
So if you
And
started
then
supporting people at 19 and you stayed steady through that to now, how long's that been?
how old am I now? I'm 32. So that would be however many years, 10. I'm not good
13.
with numbers. You have
It's
me in a
13.
whole different 13.
It's okay.
Thank you.
It's 13, my lucky number, my birthday.
I was not aware we would be doing math.
I think it's great to let people know like how long you've been in service of supporting people, right? Because no offense, in the online space, and what we do at that time is important, don't get me wrong, but in the online space, people can present and they can look like they have the magic formula, right? They can craft an identity that can really sell you, and then you get in there and you find out that this is someone who's just beginning. They've mastered themselves and maybe one or two other people, but that's their background, and sometimes things can go sideways or wonky. And so I really think it is important, especially as women, that when we see ourselves fully committed and we're rolling into decades of tweaking and mastering and doing, getting really clear and working with all types of different people, it means we know ourselves, we know our medicine, we know, our areas of mastery. So I just think it's good to, so the magic number for you is 13. And then my next question was, when did you realize you were a divine channel and began incorporating that into your work?
Brilliant. Yeah, because that was a whole other.
Oh, it had to have been massive shift.
Massive. That would be in 2019. I started really like pulling back and in. My introspection really began in 2019. I was pregnant for the second pregnancy. Owner, soul trainer, only one. And I think it's really important, before I dive into the rest of this, is to also mention, like, I have been supporting women or people for 13 years.
Yeah.
And I've owned a business for that long as well.
I get it.
Soul entrepreneur also. And I feel like that's also like just that next level of overcoming and being able to stabilize ourselves and problem solve and look for the solutions and who we really are, and be able to transition and pivot appropriately, while holding families, marriages, and clients.
Self-mastery. Yeah.
101 over here, right?
Yeah.
So 2019 was the pivotal moment that I was like, it was literally a breaking point. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. I knew that my intentions, and what people were wanting as results weren't matching.
Okay.
There was a disconnect there, and I was fucking sick of it, not putting that out onto anybody. That is the way I marketed. That is the way I promoted. That is what I thought I needed to do.
Yeah.
Right. Bring people into the gym and then I will drop them into their inner worlds. No, it doesn't fucking work like that. That is not the promise that they came in for. So it really allowed me to look at the promise, at the transformation, at what's really happening, and then go through my own identity shift and healing, because I had to let go and unplug even more from what I thought I needed to do in order to support people, or what people would really want and value. And
so when you look back on it, did you have like a particular client or two who was open and accepting to you receiving divine downloads or channeled guidance, and that helped you to explore it? Or were you just like this? I know some people who receive guidance and totally just pretend like it's them because it may not be received well. So I'm just curious how that
It was
looked for you.
rocky.
Yeah, I get it.
It was fucking rocky, because then at that moment too, 2020
Yeah,
hit, right? Like, so
right.
finished 2019, realized what was happening, pregnant, going through my own
Mm,
brewing a baby, and then 2020 pandemic. And so
mhm,
that was really a blessing for me, because it was a chance where I could pull back and restructure and bring forward a new foundation
mhm.
for what my business would look like. And I could use the pandemic as that. I really
Yeah,
use it to my
yeah.
advantage. And I feel like that's
Nice.
just another way of how I am able to perceive and look at hiccups and challenges in our life and
Mhm.
struggles, and be able to remove myself from, like, this is happening to me, my business is gone, victim mentality, victim energy. I really use that and pivoted in my
Mhm.
favor, and my favor of
Nice.
those that I knew I could help. But it was really rocky, because I was trying to do the two now. I was trying to really merge the two worlds, bring fitness in. And then
Mhm.
my first program was called Embodiment.
Nice.
So
That's
we did.
funny how it just
I
I
know.
literally saw it really big, the word body in all caps in the word embodiment. So how crazy that,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
And I had
cool.
clients that came into that, and they were great. And then it absolutely started, the more mystic I became, the more that they kind of were like, "Nee."
Some of them
Maybe this isn't really
closed
what I
out.
want. I love you,
Um,
but
yeah,
that's okay. And that is, yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I can just about imagine how rocky that would be. But I always tell people that I mentor or speak to, there's people out here who will pay high value for a channel, for a guide, for someone who is directly accessing and either commanding activations from like creator source or pulling in that divine wisdom. Like I pay
Mhm.
extra, I pay more for that type of
Yeah.
service because I feel like we're all on the same page that way. We're
Yes.
both receiving insights and downloads. So I please, like, if that's a thing you do, please put it on your business cards. There are people like who will pay extra for it. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a blessing. So I'm nothing against the people who walked away. It's just not there. It's
Yes.
my cup of tea and I drink a
Yes.
lot of it. So
Yes. Yes.
so I'm curious, you brought up the business part and this question was already on here. What advice would you give someone who wants to go full time in this business? The mystic.
Mm.
We meet a lot of them who
Mhm.
are part-time, who are doing this on the side, they're
Yeah.
doing the hustle. What would you, yeah, what would your advice be if they're like, how do I go full time?
Okay, this is interesting, because one, it applies to the individual. So it is,
Mm,
but what I
mhm,
heard and what I hear, what they're showing me more is to hire that mentor, to hire that spiritual mentor.
got goosebumps.
And that's what I did.
And you take the
We're
good, you
laughing
take the
about
bad.
that.
Yeah, I get it.
You and I are laughing about that, but it really does bring you into a whole new initiation of
Got
what
it.
does need to be cleansed and cleared and up leveled in your system
Mhm.
to be in this line of work full time, right? There is a
Yes.
lot of system upgrades that needs to occur.
Yeah.
There is some healing that needs to happen. So I would also, one big thing that's coming through right now is like, don't quit your day job. Right? Like,
Until you see
and
numbers that are stabilized, and is that
or
what you mean?
until you feel stabilized, maybe. Like,
Mhm.
I was definitely someone that I was all in. There was no way you could put me into a day job. Like there was absolutely no way. And that worked for me. But it did come with an immense amount of stress, an immense amount of struggle, an immense amount. And that was my journey. That's what I needed. But if I was able, and if I was already in a position, like I didn't have a job. I came out of pregnancy. I came out of maternity, and then I would just opened up my own business. So I didn't have another day job.
Yeah.
But if there was something that could at least bring in some level of support that gave you enough space and time to really become the channel, to become this version of you, to become and work on your embodiment, and pay for your mentorship, right? Like something that could, so you weren't in that, like, I'm going to pay for my mentorship because that's going to help me, but I have no income coming in place. Because that's really, it could potentially be harmful and cause unnecessary struggle and stress.
Yeah.
So it really does come to the individual and where they are at as well. If you are in a place and you are ready, listen, soul authority, baby, like listen to yourself, but having that support and that someone who is attuned and will provide you with guidance, will ease your path for sure.
So one of the things I feel like you've been describing that I think you're excellent at is commitment. I think what I'm hearing you describe and is that commitment. And then one that I'm passionate about, if you don't mind me sharing, is persistence. I feel like things can go sideways, upside down. And if you are not fully on board, committed, then it's easy to just be like, oh, this must be a sign it's not working out. I think you really have to learn, like, get this internal fortitude that yes, there was a hiccup. Yes, something went, maybe it was a shitstorm with a mentor. You didn't get what you thought you paid for, whatever. There's a persistence that you also have. And I feel like I've really learned to foster this as well, that you just keep going after it, keep going after it. And I think I feel like a refinement happens to where you can then tell the difference between a small problem and a big problem, or is this an obstacle or just a little road, like a speed bump, and I feel like that comes from persistence and commitment and staying after it. And I would like to see a lot more women in our industry really anchor into commitment and persistence.
Absolutely. There's this term that I want to share with you and everybody watching, and it's called Sisu. Have you heard of Sisu? SISU.
Okay.
So it's a Finnish term. So I'm of Finnish descendants.
Love.
Yes. And so I have been tapping into the energy of Sisu since I started my business. So the energy of Sisu is a characteristic found within us, and it is your second wind. It is the energy of being able to overcome the obstacles in the face of adversity.
Nice.
Through determination, grit, and courage, and being able to activate that within yourself. So it provides you with it activates your determination, activates your grit, activates your courage to continue in this phase, and showing you how to continue in this phase of adversity.
Love it.
And I feel like that is something that has supported me for many years.
Love that. Thank you for sharing.
And of course. And I feel like it's so powerful because it's really that internal shift and allowing it to be found within, I think, is the biggest thing too, right?
Yeah.
Women finding this within.
Yeah.
And
So who inspires you?
You do.
Oh. No, seriously, like when you're looking for like hope or inspiration, who inspires you? That's really sweet though.
I want to say it again.
I'm like, I'll send your $20 in the mail. I'm just kidding.
Is that okay to say? You know, it's
You
like,
inspire you? Yeah.
I fucking do, man.
Love it.
Like, and I think that we also need to be our own inspiration at times, and not so much outsource, like right off the hop. And then there's my husband, then there's my children, you know, there's my children there too. And I feel like in my growth arc, in my transformation, in my healing, I gave so much of that to my children, that like they inspire me and I want to be better for them, and I want to be better, and I wanted my parents to be better for me, and I wanted people to be better for me. Nothing fucking changed until I started being able to see myself and what I've accomplished and what I want to accomplish, until I was able to be like, whoa, see what other people see. And so it's me.
No, I think it's great. This is why Soul Authority is part of your medicine, and that self-love and self-acceptance. You're literally a beacon and a lighthouse for other people. So I mean, I'm not judging, I'm just receiving your answer, but it makes so much sense to me. Again, you know, you've alchemized how to appreciate and validate yourself. And, you know, I have worked with you, so you do the work and you remember it and you call it into your scope if you need to be reminded or go over a particular lesson again. You're amazing at this, and so I'm glad that you're celebrating you. And I wish more people on our planet did for themselves, and you know, maybe looked toward other people to inspire them or provide them hope. You know, if we are more self-led, self-guided, self-appreciating, and we recognize those moments when we were our own champion, it would allow us to summon ourselves forward in a moment of crisis or difficulty or challenge. Be like, come on, girl, you've been through tougher things than this. And that's, I know that's how you talk to yourself. So I think it's really beautiful that you're sharing that, because there's somebody out there on this planet who needs that medicine, like needs that ability to recognize that she's a badass and she's got what it takes to get through this. And I call it grit and grace, because I feel like I get so much invisible support, divine support, so many blessings, and I ask for them. I'm like, if y'all got any, you know, send it up, upload it. I have more questions for you, if that's okay.
If I can input one thing here.
Yeah, definitely.
Just a quick little like tail end piece to this.
Sure.
Really looking for yourself as that inspiration. They showed me my higher self on a stage, and that is something I've seen as a child, right? Like that individual on that stage is who inspires me, and what that can support women through. Any woman who finds themselves experiencing jealousy, envy, competition, right? If we are continuously looking at others as our inspiration only, right? Only look at that woman on the stage speaking, oh, I wish I had that. Right. And then feeling that sense of like, she has it and I don't. Feeling that when is it my turn? Right. So really attuning to your highest timeline. I am constantly in the quantum. I am constantly having conversations with my higher self and my guides.
Same.
And I am there right now in a way.
Tuning to that version of you. I love that you brought that up. And it's like a lot of the thinking that you're describing, that self-talk would sound like, when am I going to be discovered? And the answer from what we're describing is, when are you going to discover yourself?
Yes.
So thank you
for that.
You brought it up, and you're right. You're 100% correct. This is why we do so well together, because we really just call each other forward and bring out the best in each other, which I think is the most romantic client mentor relationship you can have.
Right.
Next question, what challenge has been one of your greatest blessings?
Which challenge has been my greatest blessing?
What challenge has turned out to be one of your greatest blessings?
It's this one. Hold on. I had to go through some, because there was one that my ego really did want to say.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
Nice.
It's not that. It was 2019. And oh God, there's so many, but this one clearly is here in the present with us. It's 2019, the year I got pregnant with my second. That year was the hardest year of my fucking life.
Wow.
And I have been through some traumatic childhood experiences. Involved abuse and unseemly, unfortunate things. But that year in particular was the hardest and the biggest blessing.
Okay.
Because it dropped me in to see who I was being. It showed me and reflected to me who I was being and who I could be in this world, and how to get there. And it carried me through, and my baby girl was the blessing to that. That pregnancy terrified me to no end. And I actually write about it in a chapter that was published in 2021.
What book?
So it was Sovereign with Kiva Publishing.
Nice.
Bold Women Liberation. Oh my gosh, it's something like that. But I will send you the link to that as well, to tag it in this. In this comment section for sure.
One of those multi-author.
It was a multi-author book.
Nice.
Yeah. So I wrote the chapter.
Oh, yay.
And I wrote about the year of 2019.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yes. I actually have a copy right here, my love.
Yay. Wow.
Love liberated women who boldly claim their power.
I love that you contributed for that. Yay. Yes. Well, you and I have known each other for a hot minute. That's the first time. Thank you for sharing. That's the first time I even knew you were in this book, and you.
Oh my goodness.
A chapter. So this is. I'm learning new things about you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Ty! I am going to send you a copy.
Aww,
I have extra copies, so we will connect after this, and I'm going to send one of these to you as a gift for having me.
Looks like it would be very inspirational to read. I have a question.
Yeah.
I have another question. So one of the other 3D programming, and I like to use computer terms because I feel like it's more, we have less bias around, it's less polarizing, and I feel like it's a concept that most people you don't need a lot of explanation.
Absolutely.
So one of the big 3D programs that we're shifting out of is the whole drama cycle or victim triangle or whatever you want to call it, but it's the one that puts us either in savior mode or victim, and then that whole thing. So it's being rewritten so that we're more self-aware, so that we're making decisions that are ecological, good for you, good for me, good for humanity, and we're not saving people, we're not rescuing, all of these things. So to repattern ourselves from this, and it takes work, because the mind is busy. And it loves to write stories, it loves to create stories. And I know that you're just when I say wicked, I mean badass, like a wicked master at rewriting stories. That's what I mean. Well, I mean, you've got a book. Yeah. So
right, literally,
and I didn't even know this. But one of the questions I want to ask you is, how do you get yourself out of a victim loop or story when your mind is trying to tell you that this person's bad and this person's evil and put a label on it, and how do you kind of become the hero of your own story, or get yourself out of that victim loop or story? How do you do it?
I feel like I've gone through an evolution of how I do this.
Okay.
Yeah, this method and even process has definitely gone through its own evolution. So at the moment, oh gosh, this is okay.
Well, we have to teach people.
It's good. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's new stuff.
Oh, I am here. So I pour myself a bath.
Nice.
I'm hearing
Love it.
sacred waters.
Good.
So sacred, I bring myself to a very sacred space when I'm recognizing that there is a constant distortion or disturbance in my being, in my field, something that I'm constantly being pulled back to. If I feel like I'm constantly pulling back to something and it's the same fucking story, like there's not a new layer, there's not a new insight, it's literally the same thing. Looped process, right? I drop in, but I also utilize my human design, the motivation aspect to it. So with this, there is two lines that will, look at, I peeled off my nail polish. Anyways, there's two lines that will share with you your motivation, your soul's motivation and your ego's motivation. So being really attuned and aware of what can keep us fixated and focused on certain topics, and feeling into the energy of your ego and how it likes to perceive stories, and then how your soul feels and how it likes to perceive the story. So I bring myself into that and I utilize my human design in that particular aspect of it. And I've become really attuned to what my ego feels like. As you just kind of witnessed, I was about to answer a question. I was like, oh, that was my ego about to answer that. So I can really feel what that feels like, and then what my soul really feels like. And I consciously make this decision to lead with my soul and to ask my soul, to ask my heart to show me what is really here for me, and or to release me completely. Right? Release me from this. How do I create space? How do I drop this timeline out of my existence? And what timeline am I moving into? Because this isn't serving me anymore. I really love to live in alignment. I really love to live in a place where I feel that everything around me is serving me, and it always is. But there is those moments of that is, when we're stuck in the drama loop, it's like, instead of trying to consistently heal, the ego wants to consistently go back and try and heal it. It's like the healing is actually just dropping that timeline. So I've been able to cultivate this method with my spirit team on, I kind of see them as little rings around me. And I
Nice.
literally just drop that timeline and I feel everything else coming in and closer and more aligned with me.
Beautiful.
And then I ask how I move forward.
This is
Right.
a
I make
very, yeah, this is a very evolutionary kind of conversation.
Mhm.
And I think, yeah, I think it's really important for people to have a way. And I think it's really important that if they're not sure what that looks like for them, that they access a mentor who has that. Because what happens in our industry is a lot of nitpicking and back and forth, and people don't always take ownership of their part. And I think that's difficult to get to if you're running the program of so and so did XYZ to me, and you stay there, right? If that stays your mantra, I believe it's a pattern that you're most likely going to repeat. If you're able to evolve above that and kind of see, how did this, mine is like, how did I get myself here? How did I? The divine likes us to ask questions like, what is the gift in this? Things like this, but I'll leave that and leave yours here. And it's perfect. It's beautiful. I love that you have assigned like a way through, what did you say it is? Your gene keys? Human
That
design.
particular one is human design.
Got it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that recipe. Here's the next one. I think it's really important also as humans, but especially mentors, because we're putting ourselves up and saying, I can help you master some theme areas, right? I think it's really important as humans and mentors that we're conscious and aware of our like blind spots, those areas. When you and I talk about it, those soul codes, if they're soul codes, we may have areas of mastery. Sometimes that's hard doing that alchemy. Do you feel like are you comfortable sharing any of your blind spots, any of those areas that you have to do a little bit more work, a little bit more digging in with? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel transparency and humility is I want to say powerful, but like there's something more than that, like necessary when we are putting ourselves in this leadership position. And not being the anyways. Whew, Divine's like, no, don't speak like that. My ears just shifted. So let's see. My blind spot. I was aware of my blind spots, Ty. No.
The danger zone is if we say we don't have any, right?
Right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let me see. Thinking that I know it all, like I feel like that's a big thing that I get stuck in sometimes, and that it can actually stop me from doing anything because now I'm aware and I'm afraid to even come off that way.
Wow. Yeah. I could see how it would be useful for your confidence. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Big shadow, this like arrogance and humility underneath my leadership. I think like that is it's constant, but the more I'm aware of it, the more I can catch and the more I can actually practice humility, and the better my leadership skills become. But that is definitely something that I feel is constantly shown back to me.
Nice. Well, and I'm grateful that you're noticing, you're aware, and calling yourself out and forward when you notice it. So I feel like that keeps us on top of recognizing a wobbly area. If we're paying attention to these wobbles, then we don't act out in the presence of our human family, right? Because that's the other mirrors, is our relationships with other people. And then if we have acted out or presented with our human family, a lot of times we have a lot of like shame, guilt, or remorse. So with as self-aware as you are, if you notice, and I know you really pay attention to your internal dialogue. I've heard, like, you've left me voice memos of the conversations that you've had with self, and which I love. This is how I know you so well. You bring me in to that. You have like this internal guide, and you call her forward without shame, just like, hey sis, what is that about? And so anyway, so thank you for sharing that and doing that. And this is why I think it makes you such an embodiment master for other people in that stabilizing force. You're less likely to act out on your friend circle, your client base, all of that. Not to say it will never show up, but most likely you'll catch it. And kind of like say, hey now, love. So we've talked about leadership, and I wanted to know, based on everything you've learned and all the guidance that you've received, and maybe even a little bit of mentorship from me, how are you going to create change in this space of divine leadership? What's your special sauce? What's in there? How are you going to create change? What's something you feel like, really, I'm going to do this differently?
Sorry, I have to let these register for a moment.
Sure.
Everyone knows Ty channeled these, and these were not shared with me previously. So I am
and we're over time as well. So if you just want to, it's up to you if you want to go long or short on the answer.
How am I going to create change?
Yeah, we're each ambassadors of divine leadership, right? We're custodians of that code. And so when you look at the big picture, what is the change that you're going to create in our divine leadership community?
I'm hearing resiliency, creating resiliency within the collective, being resilient, really, that's not the word, sisterhood, coming into resiliency in sisterhood is where I'd really like to see this change, because the more that we come into our soul leadership and into our divine leadership and into our sacred feminine and into this role, there comes a lot of that drama and cattiness, and it's really about not even giving it a voice, but giving a voice back to the individuals who feel so compelled to partake in the cattiness. Like, that's just what they're showing me here. It's like really stripping the collective of the toxic behaviors and patternings, and being able to really rise together as sacred leaders, Like, we are not just individual leaders here. We are really doing this collective change and shift, and we are required to come together and required to see each other in their power and in their expertise, and understanding that it's going to look similar to ours, and to really drop the codes and recode competition into more of a collaborative energy. So I'd really like to see that change into more collaboration than competition than anything, and bringing together very similar yet unique ways. If we are all channels, we are all channels. Right? We carry deep womb priestess wisdom, ancient codes that are going to be delivered differently, and we need to come together as channels again. And I want to be a part of that.
Yes, me too, sister. Me too. Well, thank you for collaborating with me on this experience
Absolutely.
today. It's been a beautiful journey in our relationship of working together. And I know that's closed out some time ago, but it's before then and even since, I just love seeing you serve and soar and shine and share all of your beautiful magic and medicine. It's up to you, your preference. Would you rather share verbally where people can find you, how they can look you up, or would you rather supply links or a little of both? I just would like for people to know how they can find you.
Okay, I'll do a little bit of both because I'm
Sure.
currently working on a project that's about to launch in a couple days. So I don't want to give too much into that
Okay.
until it's dialed in. However, if you want to connect with me, please send me a Facebook request.
Okay.
That is one of the best ways at the moment. Send me a Facebook request. I have supplied Ty with a link to my link tree.
Mhm.
So there are ways that you can also follow me on TikTok for collective readings. Please follow me over on there as well. Come into my private Facebook group. It is getting a relift, a facelift, an upgrade as well.
Nice.
So the link will be shared in my link tree. I will post a link to the Sovereign group as well. But if you ever feel like there's a resonance or you want to just have a chat to see where you are at along your journey and which offer would be best for you, please just reach out to me via DM and I am more than happy to set up a call with you and explore our work together.
Yes,
So
I
I'll leave
love
that with
your
you.
Yes, thank you. I love your magic and medicine, and I'm happy to share that link out with both the YouTube family, which you have a
Mhm.
channel over there. Remind me, is your YouTube channel on your link tree? Is that accessible
I
by your
believe
link?
it is.
I think
Yes.
it is too.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll make sure that's available to everybody because you're a wizard over there too. And yeah, thank you for being my second guest on this series. I love having these soul chats. Thank you for bearing your soul with us. And yeah, I'm Ty Gold. And thanks for sharing in this hour and 15 minutes. It was juicy and
Brilliant.
delicious. I'm going to end this and I'll see you.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for checking out this video today. Be sure to like the video, share, subscribe to my channel. And if you really had a wonderful experience on this video, I invite you to share your reflections in the comments section. I love reading those. And if you would like to explore some more of my juicy magic and medicine, please visit my website at newearthmagicschool.com and register for my email list. I've got some things that you're going to love exploring.